Hey everybody, it's Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and on this episode of Behind the M.A.S.K, I wanted to talk a little bit about the M.A.S.K logo. Why are there so many of them? What you're seeing right now is just two variations, but we're going to go over a couple other ones as well. Now, I've seen people talk about how the variations of the logos, people try to rip them off essentially, or make something that they can sell, get around the copyrights and things of that nature. That might be true in some cases, but it's not going to be true in this case here with the M.A.S.K logo itself. I don't have any facts to back up what I'm about to say, but with my knowledge of marketing and web and graphic design, it's all about, well, the branding. The M.A.S.K logo itself is rather large, and it takes up a lot of real estate. So when you are, putting your licensed product, you have a licensed product like a kite, for example. You can put the logo on there, but what about the packaging? It's something to think about. But we'll get into that in a little bit. There is one thing that I don't understand about the logo itself, actually. What you see on the screen here, there's two variations of the primary. One is on the left here with the blue background. That is the one from the cartoon, right at the end of the opening credits. And this is the one that you would see on the packaging, mostly, the one on the right. It's a little dialed down, isn't it? Not just quality-wise, like one's a screen capture, one's from a box, but it's missing the explosions. It's kind of weird. And I have another thing here that we'll get into in a second. So this is the Dynamo box, and do you see how this is like even more of a stripped down logo? It's all closed up. It's weird. That I can't explain. I don't know why there's three different variations of the primary logo in this instance. The only thing I can think of is that it might have been too violent with the explosion here happening. Maybe that's why. It's hard to say. I didn't grow up in Europe, and that's where that one is primarily going to be located at, that logo itself. But let me know your thoughts on the why there's different variations of the primary. But I want to get into some of the other variations that you might see. So, as I said before, it kind of has to do with marketing. And, well, if you're developing a logo, so for example, when I did the logo for Matt-Trakker.com, what I did was I wanted to make something that paid homage to the original logo, but also would work in any platform that I would use the logo on. So, for example, Facebook, Twitter, if I put the logo on a t-shirt, I wanted it to make sense. I wanted it to be able to fit without having to like conform to what constraints there might be. And the M.A.S.K logo is large, so it doesn't lend itself to fit on other merchandise. M.A.S.K itself, Kenner can control the box, but when you start branching out to the other third-party things, then you're kind of at the mercy of that other entity. And actually, there was probably a lot of cross collaboration, but this is back in 1985. Internet wasn't around, and I would imagine it was all done by mail. So think about that too. So what you have here are two variations of the logo, primary. And I'm going to hold up a couple things here just to show you some of the other variations on some of the other media and kind of get an idea of it. So I just showed you Dynamo. Now I'm going to show you Piranha here. And Piranha has the primary logo, which you're used to seeing, right? Simple enough. And that was the one that we saw for the most part on all the boxes. Now, let's go to this here. This is an example of two logos. So you have the one here in the middle, right? In the beginning, right here. And then if you go to the top, it's different sized. And that's what I was talking about, the how the brand recognition of this would work. If this logo was to appear here, it wouldn't fit. It would be squished, and it wouldn't, you know, the appeal of it wouldn't be there. And while Rhino is cool, the draw is the yellow text on the logo. That's what draws your eye to it, and then everything else around it is what you see. So that's an example of something that has two logos on it. I have a couple of other things too that have that, just to show you. Here's the kite that I referred to earlier. So I'm not going to open the package up, but this is obviously not a Kenner product. So up here, in order to make the M.A.S.K stand out, it's kind of that half shot there, but on the kite itself, it's the full logo. So it's kind of weird. And the board game has that too. Let me grab that here. So this is kind of a curious example of it too. You have M.A.S.K, and then you have the primary logo here and the variation of it here. When you're a kid, you don't think about that. You think, I see M.A.S.K and I'm going to get it. But when you're older, you get a little more cynical, and then you start questioning things, right? So here's another example. This is one of the Commodore games. This is this logo always got me. Like, I always laugh at it when I see it. M.A.S.K 22. It's just funny the way it's worded. So that's that. Here's a VHS. Where you have none of the primary logo, just the text. But you can see the box art here. You wouldn't be able to have any of this kind of graphic work here if the logo was here, because it would take up about that much space. To about there. If you wanted it to have fit within the confines of what you were actually showing. Here's another variation over here on the party pack. You can see that there. And then this is funny here. So you got two lunch boxes, two different logos. You might ask what's different. Well, this one here has dots in the middle. This one doesn't. So the dots were kind of like an early precursor to the logo itself. They were. It was released, but it wasn't the final. It's just so strange to see that, right? And then here's a watch that has a variation of the logo. I'm going to try to get it as close as I can here. Hopefully it comes out okay. It's ultra flash with the M.A.S.K font on there, and that's one of the things I always found to be curious. And I never asked Lance Anderson why that was the case, why ultra flash was shown on the logo instead of Spectrum. My guess is that Rhino was the big selling ticket item, and they wanted to correlate it between the two. Ultra Flash goes with Rhino and vice versa. So I'm guessing that's why that was the case. Yeah, I don't know. It's just strange. Like, what do you think of all the different variations of the logos? Do you think there was something that was like with being too violent? Do you think there's others out there that I don't even have? I'm pretty sure there are. I just don't know of them. Let me know your thoughts when you get a chance. Until next time, this is Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and I'll talk to you later.